Well, it is not just a Good Friday. I say it's a God Friday to each and every one of you. So glad to be a part of this wonderful day, whether you're watching the replay, whether it is morning, whether it's the afternoon, whether it's the evening. It is definitely a Good Friday as we are in preparation for Resurrection Sunday. For those of you all who definitely believe in Jesus Christ being Lord and our Savior. And so I just want to welcome you on this evening. It's a great Friday. It is a Good Friday, but I say it's a God Friday because God has ordained this day for each and every one of us. So glad that you can be a part on this evening. I will not be before you long, but I am excited, so excited to share what has been unveiled to me just in this finale Friday, the last Friday of this women's her story. I don't say women's history, I say her story, because guess what? Everybody has a story. So if you can come on in and join me in this wonderful journey as we finalize this recap back where it all got started. Once again, here on the last Friday, we've had phenomenal time of just empowering other women, sharing gems of wisdom. I don't know if you all have gone back to any of the replays, but please do so. And so for those of you all who are joining me for the first time, you're wondering, well, who is this woman? I'm so glad you asked. My name is Tori Marshall. I am a woman of God. I am a wife. I am a sister, friend, more so of a sister, even that, sister, friend, an auntie. I'm a niece. I'm so many things, but who I am defines what I do. And that is why I said initially I'm a woman of God. I'm a woman of prayer. I know God has gifted me, I say, as an anointed word curator. Also, I'm a woman of worship. I am a woman who loves God. And I'm also the founder of Mosaic Masterpiece, a Mosaic wellness company. And it is really taking the broken pieces of your life, creating something beautiful. I am the evidence-based model of that. God has called me to be a speaker. I'm a teacher, a trailblazer. I'm an educator. I love to educate. I'm a minister of Christian education. It's an honor to empower God's people with His word. And I'm excited for what God has been sharing with me and sharing with you on this evening. So I will not be before you long, but I do ask you for this one thing. If you can definitely share this information with others. I always say nations are tied to your obedience. And so there's a nation of people that I will never be able to reach, but you are able to reach them. So I just ask that you share this information. Also, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube page, it is Mosaic Wellness Company. Definitely go over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll be able to see the previous Mindset Matters podcast. I want to welcome each and every one of you, and you'll be able to see the previous Mindset Matters podcast. And so for those of you all who are just joining for the first time, just want to give a brief recap of some of the Mindset Matters podcasts that has been taking place during Women's Her Story Month. So I started off with actually interviewing my cousin. One of my cousins, her name is Madeline Stuckey. I interviewed her and had such a wonderful time because a lot of times we do seek and we do have other women that are history makers, people that are not necessarily in our family, but then we want to look within our family because a lot of our family members are making trailblazing trendsetter moves, and what better way to jumpstart this Women's Her Story Month with her story. She's a powerhouse woman. She is a wife. She is a mom. She is a sister. Her and her husband are raising 3 beautiful daughters. One is getting ready to graduate from college. One is 16 years old, and then the other one is actually, I believe, in 7th grade. And so just a beautiful family, and just what her journey was, not just for her walk, but being able to empower their daughters, her and her husband, their daughters, as well as understanding that there is her story amongst our family with our grandmothers, my mom who has passed away, but still just gleans so much wisdom, her mom who's yet alive. And so a lot of times we don't seek amongst our own family to say, wow, there's some rich history amongst us. And I really need to press the pause button and begin to talk, have some interviews, with your cousins, If your grandparents are still living, your grandmothers, your aunts, definitely a lot of rich wisdom. So that was one of the podcasts. And then another podcast I said started off with Martha-isms. Yes, Martha-isms. Well, who's Martha? I'm so glad you asked. Martha, this particular Martha, and I know Martha from the Bible, I'm not talking about her. She was a definitely powerhouse woman, but I'm talking about the elite Martha Richardson Tyler. That was my mom, Martha Ruth Richardson Tyler. That was my mom. Powerhouse woman in a class all by herself, hands down. It's just beyond hands down. And I shared with one of her Martha-isms because my mom just drops gems of wisdom every millisecond. You just had to catch it. So one of them that she would always say is, it was a statement, and she said, "You thought wrong." And so if we're going to have a mindset that really matters, and if we're in Women's Her Story Month, how about we begin to change our thinking? And so I shared with you all who joined me during that podcast about, it was really a proactive measure that she shared with myself and my brother to say, wait a minute, I need to stop you. You know, you thought wrong in terms of how you were going to handle the situation or just even your view. She shifted us to a different perspective because if you are wrong thinking leads to wrong sayings. Wrong speaking leads to wrong behavior. And so what you thought wrong. And so you want to identify what's wrong thinking. If you're going to be this powerhouse woman, and we are here celebrating Women's Her Story Month, then that mindset has to transition, it has to transform. And so just had some 3 takeaways, and some of y'all share some powerful takeaways, even from that particular podcast on Martha-isms. You thought wrong. There are 55 of the cajillion Martha-isms that I am going to be sharing because they still ring true to this day. And it was really just a powerful moment that we were able to really see how that statement makes a really critical difference in our everyday lives. And so a lot of times our thinking begins to lead us on a path that doesn't fall into alignment to where God is leading us. And so it is really impactful, and I do hope that you were able to apply those gems of wisdom and definitely share your 3 takeaways. It was not too late. You can go back and share your 3 takeaways. And so the finale on today, I tell you, you just never know when the Lord is going to speak or how he's going to speak. It was an opportunistic moment. It was an opportune moment that really shifted my mindset. And that is why, if you all didn't see, that yesterday when I had posted the information about the podcast today, I said, we're going beyond sight on this one. And you know how God has a way of words with me. That's why I know I'm an anointed word curator. It's not O-N-E, but it's W-O-N. And so we're going to go beyond sight on this one. And there was a particular device that was on that particular flyer that I put up in social media yesterday. And so I wanted to share this with you because the Lord just highlighted so many things. And I knew that it was a pivotal moment for me to share with you what the Lord showed me through just this powerful experience, and a great way to seal the deal on this finale Friday, this Good Friday, this God Friday, and the finale Friday of this Women's Her Story Month. So get ready. If you have some popcorn, if you've got some little refreshments, some fruits and vegetables, join me on this journey. So just flow with me, because definitely we are getting ready to go somewhere. So my husband and I took a trip. We're out of town. But before then, we live in Chicago. And so for months, there's a particular device. This is a disclaimer. I am not promoting this. I'm not getting compensated for this. But this is a part of the experience. This is the framework of it. So Apple, yes, we see blue. We love Apple. We are Apple product people. We have the iPhone right here. Yes, iPhone. And so there is a particular device that has just been released about 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, and it is called, here it is, Vision Pro. I didn't say Sight Pro. Hold on to that. It's called Vision Pro. So we have been trying to sign up for this demo to go down and have this experience where it's the Vision Pro. And we said, okay, so we kept trying in Chicago, kept trying to get our names on the schedules to go down and sign up to actually see this device. Well, in Chicago, it has been continuously booked every single week, months out. And so we already had planned on taking a trip out of town. And so while we're out of town, we had not planned it, had not even thought about it. My husband had asked me just what are some local things in the area in terms of like malls, things of that nature. And so I looked up, a particular location that I knew was familiar because our family, my cousins, we would go there quite often. But then there was another location. And what grabbed my attention was this particular fruit on the outside of the store. I said, that's an Apple store. And then, wait a minute, I said, let's connect the dots here for a minute. Hold on. Let's see if we can sign up for the demo here where we are. And so my husband said, yeah, let's see. So we had just landed that day. And so typically you're thinking, okay, well, let's see about some dates for the next day. Well, when we looked up on the device and we looked up on our phones to see about scheduling to come in for a demo in a different state, lo and behold, they had availability the same day. So in that moment, there was a movement. And in that movement, guess what happened? We were able to go ahead, and my husband actually went through the demo at the Apple store in a different state. My question to you is, would you be able to come out of the land of familiarity? Because we could have said, well, we'll just wait till we get back home to Chicago. We'll just continue to try again. No, there was an opportune moment. At that moment, we were able to sign up on the same day and begin this demo experience. Are you able to push past familiarity? That's a question. You can answer it now, or you can think about it. Think about it. Think about it. And from that, we immediately said, let's go. Signed up for it, and when we walked in, this is not just something you can just go ahead into the store and say, well, we heard about the Vision Pro, and we just want to take this device, and we just want to try it on. Now, you might get that at another store, but not at the Apple store. Why? I'm so glad you asked. Because this is getting ready to be an experience. When we walked in, and my husband's name was on the list, and they guided us to the table, and we sat down. I was excited for my husband because I already knew that this is something that we both wanted, and he was getting ready to go through this experience. So this is what they did. It was customized. You just can't go in and pick up the device. They have to measure you for it. And so it's a whole customized measurement even for the demo. And so this is already an experience. They are very strategic. So my husband had to get his face scanned. You could use your iPhone. Yes, that's the device. So they used the phone, and he was able to get his face scanned. He was able to get all these other measurements taken. And then they captured it on this device. They went to the back of the store. They went to the other side of the store in their back office. And then guess what? They built a customized headset that would fit his dimensions of his measurements. And so that's why it didn't say Sight Pro. Sight only takes you to another level. I'm not leveling up. And I know there's a song, that's nice. Leveling up is not enough for me. Because going to another level only is sight. Sight takes you to another level. They said this is the demo for the Vision Pro. Vision takes you to a whole different dimension. Oh, I knew then. I said, oh, this is a whole experience. And so they take my husband through the whole setup because you have to have your hands in a certain position in order for them to capture your hands. You have to have your eyes come into alignment to be able to see those things that's going to have the vision that they're getting ready to unfold. And when I tell you that this was a whole experience for 30 minutes, I mean, my husband was ooh and on, and they were saying, turn all the way around. It's a 360-degree vision. Just his excitement leaped into me. Now, I didn't have it on, and so I didn't go through the demo, but just watching my husband experience it, because guess what? It's customized. My question to you is your vision customized or is it manufactured? That's a whole movement. The Lord began to unveil all of this while I'm in the Apple store. So his excitement leaped into me, and I got excited for him. And so he's sharing with me all the things that he's seeing. These things are like right up in front of you. This is a 3D version, a 3D vision that you're experiencing, and it's literally like you're right in the actual room. I'm trying not to give it away. I'm not going to give away everything, but I'm just laying out the framework on what this really is this is a Vision Pro demo at the Apple Store. Mind you, we didn't get this in our state. We're in a different state. But guess what? When the opportunity and the door opened, we were ready to walk in. When the opportunity for your vision, women, if we're saying we are women empowerment and this is Women's Her Story Month, what's your story? Is your vision customized? Because mind you, they had to customize the headset for my husband. Is this just the demo? Or are you manufacturing your vision from somebody else? And I'm going to go there. Is it manufactured from your grandmother? Is it manufactured from somebody else in your family? When God has customized a vision for you to fulfill and for you to walk out. And so after this 30-minute experience, not the Sight Pro, but the Vision Pro demo at the Apple Store, my husband said, okay, wait, we have to come back. We have to come back. And so they said, well, you know what? Well, let's just sign you up now. So, long story short, not only did he sign up again, he said, no, babe, he said, you have to experience this. So then I signed up. And so guess what? We said, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow because we'll be back. Guess what? We went back to the same space, the same place. And guess what? My husband still didn't even go through the same thing. They said, we have more information we want to share with you. But guess what? He still had to go through the same customized process. And so here was my turn. And so they said, put on the device. We have to measure you. Before then, they said, put your face. They had to scan my face. I had to go through the whole routine, the whole process. Because when it's customized, it's a process. When it's manufactured, it's the same outcome. But if God has given you a customized vision, come on this Good Friday, where he had a customized walk to Calvary's cross, and that's a whole dissertation. Why? So that he paid the price for us so that we can have everlasting life. That walk was customized. Nobody else took that walk but him. But he was customized and a fit to fulfill the assignment. Are you going to be able to fulfill your customized vision, or are you just going to go ahead and settle for a manufactured vision from somebody else? And so here it is, my turn. And so I kind of knew what I was getting ready to go into for my husband, but it was still my journey. I couldn't say, well, can I just use my husband's headset? No. This was a customized headset that they had to put in place for me just for the demo. So I had to put my hands out. Once they came back with all the information, I put the whole set on. I had to adjust it right where it was positioned for me. My eye, yes, I said eye. The word of God does not say eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. That's not the word of God. It says eye have not seen, ear have not heard. Why? One eye can't see faith and the other eye can't see fear at the same time. Not with God. And so because of that, the eyes had to come into alignment so that they both saw the same thing. And so here I am. I'm going, and it's my turn now. And I'm telling you, I'm on and on. I mean, dinosaur looked like it was getting ready to rip my head off. There's a butterfly that they're telling you to land on your finger, and you feel as if this butterfly is landing on your finger. It is an experience. God takes us through experiences. That's why for me, I don't facilitate workshops. I don't host events. I don't host symposiums or seminars. God specifically told me, he said, I've empowered you to create experiences. And that is exactly what Apple Store did with the Vision Pro, not with Sight Pro. And so women, let's get empowered. If you have not thought out your customized vision, remember this was a customized set that they made for me. And so after I did all the ooh and on, and I'm turning all the way around, I'm seeing forests, I'm seeing oceans, I'm actually in like this studio with this particular superstar. You felt like you were right there. You could see people's gym shoes. My husband was like, oh my goodness. He was like, Tori, babe. He was like, they got fresh J's on, Jordans. He was like, oh, you say they were playing a baseball game, but you felt like you were right there. And that's what the Lord wants with our vision. He wants our vision that God has given us. First of all, this first takeaway is your vision is customized. Put that in the chat. My vision that the Lord has given me is customized. What does that mean? It cannot be manufactured. It cannot be replaced. Even had conversations, we sharing it with our cousins, sharing it with other family members, and so we've heard that this other particular corporation, oh yes, we know what Apple is going to do, but we're basically going to mimic what they do, and it's going to be at a lower cost. But guess what? If Apple didn't create it, you have nothing to go by. That's what I'm talking about. The vision that God has given you is customized. That's the first takeaway. Secondly, the Lord wants your vision to be so crystal clear that it should ignite you. I mean, by the time my husband and I left the first day, we're trying to see how can we get this into schools? How can we get this into the hands of other students? How can we get this into our own family members' hands? Because guess what? It took our vision, because we already got vision. We don't do sight, my husband and I. It took our vision to another dimension. And I mean, there's so many other features with it. I'm not here to promote the apparatus. I'm just sharing with you the experience and what the Lord unveiled to me in terms of what this Vision Pro can do. It ignites your vision to go to a whole deeper dimension. I mean, we were coming out talking about ideas, different witty inventions, writing materials, resources, all these other things. It wasn't just for us. And that's the second takeaway. The vision God has given you is not just for you. It's a customized vision. And guess what? The vision is to help everybody else. There are certain people that are assigned to you. Your vision is not just for you, but it is for the people that God has assigned you to. We're seeing how can we have students, children be impacted by this Vision Pro because it enlarges your territory. It enlarges your mindset to say, wow, I can go even further with the things that God has called me to do. I can even reach higher because guess what? My vision is not even 3D. This is not, you don't have 3D glasses. Not with the Vision Pro from Apple. It shifts you to say, that's like kid level, those 3D glasses that you usually get when you're in the movie. It shifts you and elevates your mindset to a deeper capacity to where there's unlimited opportunities. And then here it is, the third takeaway. After we finish everything, this is the second day, my husband, they had given him a whole nother set of instructions and all these other features that he has shown, and this is my first time going through the demo. After it's over, this is the thing. They said, oh, Mrs. Marshall, we just want to let you know that we have your measurements for you, and they sent me the measurements through my phone immediately for my headset. And so they said, yes, you can get the device, but your headset and your headpiece is your headpiece. I can't even exchange it with my husband. His headpiece is specifically made for him. My headpiece is specifically made for me. If I was to try to put his on mine, it wouldn't even work. That's how intricate and detailed the genius behind this is a whole nother dimension. And so the fact of the matter is that, guess what? I walk away with my measurements. So guess what? When I walk back into the store, and yes, we are ready for the Vision Pro, I don't have to sit back down anymore. Guess what? They already have my measurements. And it's my name on it. Not my husband's name, not my niece's name, not my cousin's name, not my nephew's name, not all my powerhouse sisters. No, none of their names on it. It's my name. The Lord is saying for the third takeaway, claim the vision that I've given to you. Some of you all are too fearful. And you're walking in fear and you don't want to claim the vision that God has given you. God is like, I need for you to claim it. Because the things that I'm sharing with you, you need to understand that you need to take ownership of it so that you can walk in the lead hership. Right? There's leadership, but then there's lead hership. You on a ship. And so leadership means other people on the ship with you, and you have to make sure that everybody gets there to their destination. It's not in your power, but it's in God's power. And so that's why it's clear. He says, he didn't say without sight, the people perish. In God's word, it says without a vision, people perish. And he also says, write the vision. He didn't say text it. He didn't say voice text it. And yes, with the Vision Pro, you can even begin to speak. And they will write as you speak. They will type your information out. That's how biz bad, the genius behind it. That's all I kept saying, the genius behind this. And they said yes. They said it was an experience for them. When they went through the training, they are mesmerized. They look forward to taking their lunch breaks because they say on their lunch breaks, they're able to go back and get their customized set and they're able to watch and learn even more things. And so the vision that God has given you, please be mindful that God wants you to take ownership of it. Those measurements are specifically for me. So when I step back into the store, guess what? There's no waiting line for me. I don't have to wait. I don't have to sign up for the demo again. I've already experienced it. All I need to show to them is the measurements. And that measurement of that band that needs to go around my head and that width for the set to be customized for the vision God has given me, that's all that they need. And the Lord's like, that's all. I've given you the measurements. What are the measurements? My word. What are the measurements? Prayer. What are the measurements? Faith. Faith to believe that the vision is going to come to pass. And so I pray on this finale Friday of Women's Her Story Month. So divine alignment. I thought I was going to do it yesterday, but guess what? I'm doing the podcast today on Good Friday. I say God Friday. I know God does not make any mistakes. I know this is a divine alignment for those of you all who feel like I don't have the vision. I only have sight. And furthermore, this was like a couple of days after we left the Apple store from the Vision Pro demo. And so the word, like I said, the Lord has a way of, uncanny way of just turning words around and empowering me literally with his anointing to see words in a whole different perspective. And so he said, yes, it is Vision Pro. He said, switch it. If it's Vision Pro, guess what? You switch it, it's Provision. Now there's a fourth one. It's usually 3 takeaways, but that's the fourth one. If it's the Vision Pro, God's going to give you the provision for the vision. He said flip it. And after that one, I was through. Now I could have did a backflip. This was like a day after we left and God showed me that. So guess what? That experience didn't even end at the Apple store. The Lord's like, that's just the beginning. And I mean, he poured so much into me just from that experience. Then my husband and I did some other sightseeing and did some other things. Now, I've been down here for years, but I came down with a different perspective. I said, you know what? These places that we're getting ready to go to, just ignite my vision. And the Lord did that. So if it's Vision Pro, please know that it's going to be provision. God's going to provide you with every resource, every divine connection, every purpose to fulfill this customized vision with his measurements of faith, of his word, of prayer, of moving forward into everything God has called you to do, and with the resources. He's going to be the provider. He's going to be the Jehovah Jireh. And so I pray on tonight. It is my utmost prayer that on this finale Friday, this Good Friday, as we begin to celebrate and prepare for Resurrection Sunday, people are looking forward to Sunday. Actually, tomorrow is my favorite day. I call it Silent Saturday. That's when undercover movement happens. No, everybody thought it was over today, the crucifixion, but it's some undercover movement. So for those of y'all that just joining, just a quick recap. My husband and I experienced at the Apple store. It's called the Vision Pro. It is a device where it is customized measurements. It's 30 minutes. And from that, I was sharing with, for those who joined us, what this whole movement is, just in terms of what our experience was. It's not Sight Pro. We just couldn't come in and say, oh, let's pick up the machine, let's put it on. No, you might get that for somebody else. And the Lord was sharing with me that this is not a manufactured vision God has given us. This was a customized vision. Even for the demo, I had to have customized measurement. God's got a customized measurement for your vision. So first of all, is your vision manufactured or is it customized? Are you allowing other people to manufacture the vision and feel like that's what works best for them? Or God is saying, I need for you to what? Have this customized vision that I've given you. Number 2, take ownership of it. Own it. Don't allow other people to feel as if, to dilute it to sight, because sight only takes you to another level. God is like, I've empowered you to go to another dimension. That's why I'm giving you vision. That's why this was called the Vision Pro demo. It wasn't called Sight Pro. And then thirdly, God is saying all of the measurements that I have in my phone right now, they said, and it's not an expiration date on it. Those measurements are not just for a week. Those measurements, after I went through the Vision Pro demo, they said, oh, it's for you to keep forever. They said, all you got to do is just show us the measurements and we will have your customized band for you. It is not my husband's band. My husband got his own measurements. I have my own measurements. You can't swap this out with anybody. You can't say this vision is too much for me and I'm celebrating Women's Her Story Month, but this vision is too big, so I'm going to have somebody else and I'm going to give it over to somebody else and they're going to dilute it. Not so. And like I said, here's the fourth takeaway. If it's Vision Pro, the Lord said, flip it. Provision. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how big it is. The bigger it is, the bigger God is going to move. Don't put God in a limited space to say, I can only get these resources to be able for this vision to come to pass. Absolutely not so. I'm a living testament. God will provide strangers. He will put you on the heart of people in a different state. I was thinking about you. I remember your event is coming up. Your experience is coming up. I want to be able to sow a seed. I want to be able to move forward and fuel that. Be mindful, and God is calling you to do that for others. And so, what are your 3 takeaways? What are your 4 takeaways? Put that in the chat, because guess what? It's not just about you. That was another takeaway. It's not just about you. The vision is God has given to you. There are people that are assigned to your vision. Are you going to move forward with it? Or are you going to stay stagnant? Just like for us. We had to experience this demo in a whole different state. It was too booked in Chicago. That's where we live, my husband and I. But the Lord is saying, you don't even know, I got this set up for you. We hadn't planned it, but we saw the opportunity, and guess what? We took advantage of it. There are opportunities that the Lord is saying is not going to come in the land of familiarity. You're going to have to step out to the land of the unfamiliar. That's water walk in faith. That God is like, I've empowered you to step out of the land of familiar and step into the unfamiliar. Because guess what? That whole Vision Pro, that was uncharted territory for me and my husband. But it has ignited us. We're still talking about it to this day. So I'm not promoting the apparatus. Please be mindful of that. I'm sharing the experience because that's what God does. He creates these experiences. Good Friday, him going up to the cross of Calvary, that was an experience. That was his customized walk that not even his mother couldn't even take that walk for him. There was things that he had to fulfill. He fulfilled the assignment. There are assignments that we are supposed to fulfill. Yes, Women's Her Story Month is coming to an end, but I pray that Women's Her Story Month becomes a movement for each and every one of us. And so I hope and pray that this has empowered you just the way that it truly ignited me. I hope that you don't have sight. I don't want you to have sight. God doesn't want you to have sight. Sight is only a stepping stone to vision. Don't stay comfortable in sight. Sight only takes you to another level. When we experienced the Vision Pro, it took our vision to another dimension. And so I pray that for each and every one of you, that you will go to higher heights, deeper dimensions, that everything that you glean from not just this podcast, but from other podcasts, that you will take it, use it, apply it, be empowered by it, and have a lead her ship, that the people on your ship are getting ready to go to catapulted dimensions. And so I love each and every one of you. I pray that you would share this information. Go on over to my YouTube page, Mosaic Wellness Company. Share all the information that you have. Put in the chat, what are your 3 takeaways? What are your 4 takeaways? And I hope and I pray that this is not just a Good Friday. This is a God Friday. And this is the finale Friday of Women's Her Story Month. And that you will continue to make her story for your life share and not have an influence, but have an impact and leave a long-lasting legacy for other generations of young girls and women to come. Love each and every one of you. Don't make it a good day. Make it a God day, and happy, not just Good Friday, but God Friday. And love each and every one of you all. And continue and join me on next week for another Mindset Matters podcast. Love to each and every one of you all. And make it a God day, and not just a weekend, but make it a win-in. Because as you know, on Sunday, with the resurrection, you already know we win in the end. Love you all.